I want to just talk with you a little bit about how things are going to go today. Is that okay?
Yeah, okay.
So I have a little bit of your paperwork here, and so I know a little bit about your situation, but what I'd like to do today is just find out a little bit more about what's gone on with. I see that you worked last year as a physician's assistant.
Yes.
And that job ended, and
Right.
you've been looking for a job since then and collecting unemployment, and that has now run out.
Right.
And you're in a situation where
Yeah.
you've got to find a job to hold you over, right?
That's correct. Yes.
And I can help you out with that.
Oh,
and,
okay.
And I'd like to just talk with you a little bit about what happened, though, because I just have very little information about where you're coming from. So I see from your paperwork that you're a physician's assistant. What can you tell me about your work history?
Well, I worked at this one place for the last 15 years with this one doctor, and right after I got out of physician assistant training and school and whatever, I was really happy there, and then that fell through.
Right.
And now I really want to do the same thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So you really would like to continue to work as a physician's assistant?
Absolutely, yeah.
Right. And did I hear you right that you really enjoyed the place that you worked for 15 years? You liked that a lot?
Oh, yeah.
So what happened?
I'm not really sure. It's just like, maybe it's the economy. I don't know. They just said, well, we're going to have to let you go. And so I went.
Right. So could you tell me a little more about that? Maybe it's not the easiest thing to talk about.
Yeah, well, it isn't. It's. I was very upset. It's just my husband and me now, but he doesn't have a great job, and I was mostly supporting us, and it's been tough. It's been really tough.
So it sounds like. So if I'm understanding what's going on, right? I mean, it sounds like it was very difficult to leave your situation.
I was really shocked by it, to tell you
okay.
the truth, and very upset.
Yeah, and even as we're talking about it now, it sounds like you're very upset.
I am. I still am. Yeah.
Yeah, even as we're talking, it seems like maybe you're feeling a little bit angry.
Well, yeah, I'm angry. I'm still a little confused about it all, and it was. You work someplace for 15 years, it's like that's your family, it's your other home that you go to, and all of a sudden it's gone.
Right. And, it sounds kind of shocking.
Yeah.
It sounds like you knew the people there very well, and you lost that, and now you're just kind of wondering what to do with that.
Right. Yeah. I need a job, but I want something that I can be happy at. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. No. Both of those things are important to you.
Yeah.
That you'd like to have a job, and but it needs to be one that works for you.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
So can you tell me a little bit about how the job search has gone for you?
Well, I've gone around to a whole bunch of different physicians. I was working in a pediatrician's office, so I wanted to do the same thing. So I just kept concentrating on that, and I couldn't get anything. So then I started to look at, go to general practices, and I'd always hear the same thing, oh, I'm sorry, but, we don't need anybody right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
That must be very discouraging.
Yeah.
And so it sounds like you have been out there really looking for a job as a physician's assistant,
right.
specifically in the pediatrics.
Well, that's where I started anyway, because that's what I know. I want to do what I know.
Oh, sure. And I imagine doing something other than what you're comfortable with would be, I would feel very awkward about that.
Well, yeah, sure, yeah.
Right. So where are you at now? You say you started with looking for a position as a physician's assistant in pediatrics, and it sounds like you continued to look at some other kinds of positions as well.
Right, because I couldn't get anything in the field that I consider my specialty.
Which in pediatrics?
Pediatrics,
right.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So then I said, well, general practice. There's still kids. People bring their kids to general practice, so I'll check that out. But I couldn't get anything there.
Mm.
And, you know, I expanded out to OBGYN, and
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't get anything there.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, it really got discouraging.
Yeah. And it just, I mean, as you're describing that, you seem like at this whole process, you really kind of, you just strike me as kind of fatigued with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it sounds like you've looked very hard for a position as a physician's assistant.
Right, yeah.
Can you help me understand a little bit more about your situation? I understand that you're no longer collecting unemployment benefits, that has run out. So can you help me understand where you're at financially and what needs to happen here?
Yeah, I mean, my husband only works part-time over at Gardner Supply. He makes like $12 an hour.
Mm-hmm.
So things are we're getting desperate. I
Mm-hmm.
gotta tell you, we're really getting desperate because I have nothing coming in now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we have a mortgage that we're still paying on. We've got all the bills. We've got to buy food.
So you've got a lot of pressures on you right now to get income, right?
I do, yeah.
And in terms of looking for employment, are you willing to sort of look outside of your field right now just to keep you kind of going?
Oh, yeah, I guess that's why I came here. I guess if I have to, I'd really rather not.
Right, I understand
but,
that.
You know, it's getting to where I feel like I don't have much of a choice anymore.
Right, yeah. So, I mean, you really... It sounds like you're feeling like you're kind of out of options, like you've got to do something.
Right.
Right. Okay. And so, if you and I were to work together to look at some options, even if they aren't necessarily in your field for right now, would that be useful?
Well, I don't have a choice.
Right.
I don't have a choice.
Right. Yeah, I understand that. So,
excuse me, I have this little cold that's going.
No, yeah, I know. A lot of people are out with that. So I hear you saying you don't have a choice. So if I were to give you some options in terms of places that you would look, would those be interesting for you? I mean, would that be a good way for us to sort of be spending our time together?
Oh, listen, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think what might be helpful then is if you and I were to look at some specific job options and see which ones you're willing to pursue further and which ones are just not a possibility, and then you can help me understand which of those options are ones that you want to pursue.